Roy Wood Jr. In the news this week, Amazon submits their offer to purchase TikTok. Dancing with the Stars retools for the Trump era. New footage surfaces of Morgan Wallen leaving the SNL stage last week. That ain't God's country. On Amber's team tonight, he's a U.S. representative from California's 17th district, which includes Silicon Valley. We'll ask him if he can help me recover my iCloud password. It's Ro Khanna. And joining Michael, she's a writer and comedian who's been on NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. And at the end of this, we'll ask her which is the better comedy game show and why it's us. It's Karen Chee. All right, let's dig in. Biggest stories of the week. Amber and Ro, watch the clip. Tell me, what is the story?
Okay, this is Trump. I know him. That's the world. I live there. That motherfucker is the stock market.
A single-handed attempt to destroy the economy.
Pretty solid-ass answer. The story is Liberation Day, a day so important that it got a special name, but not so important that we don't get the day off or a special cookout to celebrate it. Liberation Day fell on a Wednesday this year when Trump laid out a sweeping new tariff plan he says will restore fairness to world trade by adding a 10% surcharge on pretty much everything imported to America. But some folks had their own names for the big day.
It's Recession Day.
Could be Obliteration Day.
Call it a little bit more like Crash Test Day.
Hypertension Day, because it's going to give us all a heart attack.
I call the bash the heads in of your trading partners day.
Maybe we should call it Libation Day because, Wall Street's all over the place. They might start hitting the sauce at 4 o'clock when they finally unveil this thing.
Maybe even sooner.
To his credit, Trump spared no expense as he broke down how much more Americans will be paying for imports.
67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart.
Why does Trump look like he's like ranking babes with Wayne and Garth back in the day? 14% to China, excellent. What R word is Trump using to describe these tariffs?
Don't ask Michael. Michael, don't you do it. Michael, do not do it. Michael, don't do it. Michael, pull yourself together.
Here's Trump with the answer.
In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal, that means they do it to us and we do it to them. The tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that. Yes, reciprocal, back and forth, back and forth.
It's like, when you learn a new vocab word and you're supposed to use it 4 times in the next hour to actually get it in your brain? That was the first time that man had ever heard that word.
How have Republicans been selling Americans on the big Liberation Day savings coming our way?
It's like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. You're gonna feel really bad right now, and then you'll feel better soon.
Here's the Republicans telling us how bad it's gonna hurt.
We've gone too long with the current scheme for there not to be some initial pain.
There's absolutely going to be short-term pain. The president's been clear about that. Everyone has.
But it's going to be a slow pain first before we get the gain.
He's right, man. I mean, we've had it too good in this country where we've been able to afford things. I'm sick of it, man.
The politicians are all worried about the tariffs, and that's just one group. How did Wall Street respond when it opened the next morning after the tariffs were implemented that Thursday night?
Instead of the opening bell, ding, 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 it was just a big old gong.
Wall Street's reaction was measured and calm. Here's what some other experts had to say.
Wall Street craters as the world reacts to President Trump's sweeping tariffs, the worst day for markets since 2020.
CNN's gauge of market fear, yeah, it looks like that. It's been off the charts all day.
JP Morgan raises the odds of a global recession to 60%. There will be blood. This is very bad.
It is ugly out there.
It's a Pepto-Bismol moment.
Question, does anyone know the name the administration has for the countries that they think are ripping America off the worst?
The countries formerly known as our allies.
The Dirty 15. The Dirty 15. The Dirty 15.
How many countries comprise the Dirty 15 countries?
Roy, it has to be 15. Roy, I don't like it when we're this dumb.
That's where we're different. I like it better when we're this dumb. I'm going to say 23.
29 countries! The Dirty 15 actually refers to the 15% of 194 countries in the world that aren't America, so that's 29 countries. But actually, nobody really knows for sure because the administration has not given any clarity on who all the countries are.
I would like to file a motion that we be known as the Dirty Five.
Can't we be the Dirty 8? I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's better. The Dirty 8, because there's 5 of us.
Now, we have all these tariffs in place from America. Question, what can countries affected by these changes do?
Buy Trump's meme coin?
I feel like as a sitting congressman, I kind of want you to have a better response.
The whole country does.
What can other countries do to try and push back on this, or is this just bullying they have to deal with from the U.S.?
Well, you know what they're doing? They're going to China. They're saying, okay, you don't want us, we'll go to China. You know how hard it is for someone to get Japan and South Korea to say we want to be friends with China? Donald Trump has done the impossible. China's going to nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had his own answer to that question.
If you're angry and you fight back to the greatest customer in the world, you're going to lose. We are the sumo wrestler of this world. We are the biggest economy, the biggest customer. Okay. You can't fight back against your customer.
That just sounds like what white women say when they're getting dragged out the store. I own this Bath and Body Works.
Listen, as somebody named Karen, I can say you're absolutely correct.
And it wasn't just Lutnick who had something to say. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had a reassuring message of his own.
Don't immediately retaliate. Let's see where this goes, because if you retaliate, that's how we get escalation.
I'm gonna punch you in the face, but don't punch me back. Because then we gonna be fighting. What happens if Trump's tariffs don't work and America ends up in a depression?
Well, that's kind of what was happening. I mean, the problem is that people have to start to speak out against them. You know, the amount of people who have capitulated, universities, law firms, banks, and it's not just Congress. At some point, people have to start speaking out.
If the depression hurricane is offshore, how close is it to landfall?
Look, they went from we're in a solid economy to 15% of recession, 35% of recession. Now they're saying 60% recession. I don't understand how one person can destroy something so well. I mean, it takes talent to screw things up that badly.
Everybody else has opinions about if we're headed to a recession. Here's Pete Ducey's opinion on the matter.
If there is a plan to walk things back, if for some reason things are not working out as planned, they're not cluing us into that at this point. Plans.
As the great Mike Tyson once said, I'm sure you're familiar with this quote, everyone has
a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Yeah. You thought I wouldn't know that. Did you see the joy in his face when he turned to me and said, "Oh, I'm sure you know this, Michael Ian Black."
You have no black friends. The morning the tariffs went into effect, the president posted, quote, "The operation is over, the patient lived, and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before. Make America great again." The patient also needs to get their ass up out this hospital because it costs $80,000 a day to stay. And if you're wondering whether or not Trump thought the plan worked, we all know that Trump thought the plan worked because he went golfing the very next day. So yeah, everything's going exactly to plan, or as Commerce Secretary Lutnick put it.
It is not a plan. We don't have a plan.
Michael and Karen,
Yes.
watch the clip. Tell me what's the story.
Hello, my name is Loser. And we got Elon Musk with sleeves that are too short. Oh, Mike Tyson had a quote about this. And I know what state that is. That's Wisconsin, and therefore I know what this story is.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, you want to say it? Or?
Yeah.
Go.
There was a Democrat in Wisconsin who was in a fight and won Susan Crawford, right?
The story is the Democrats and their resounding victory in Wisconsin. A lot of people are attributing the win to having a new enemy to focus on, and that's Mayor McCheesehead himself. On Tuesday's special election for control of Wisconsin Supreme Court, the vote went their way with liberal judge Susan Crawford winning by 10 points.
Everybody was saying this is an important, a very consequential race in Wisconsin. And I was like, why? And I don't feel like I ever heard the answer. Why is this race so consequential?
It's consequential because the Supreme Court gets to decide the congressional maps. And for the longest time, the Supreme Court has drawn those maps in a way that even though it's 50-50 for the state, the Republicans have way more members of Congress. And now we're going to get fair maps, and the Democrats actually are going to have a fighting chance to win some of those.
Indeed. Musk personally spent millions of dollars trying to buy the seat for the Republicans. Democrats say it's a big win against big money, but here's the Republican counterpoint to that.
I'm of the view we have way too much money in politics, but it shouldn't be lost on your viewers that George Soros has poured millions of dollars in.
I looked at the numbers. When it comes to George Soros, he's donated $2 million. Just by comparison, you're looking at $19 million, more than $19 million for Elon Musk.
Going into Tuesday's election, Musk said the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, quote, might decide the future of America and Western civilization. What do you think Musk meant by that?
White people.
You're not wrong.
I know, bro. I hear Western civilization. I think, white people. That's all that means, right?
What possible illegal thing did Elon do to try and ensure victory?
Ketamine.
What possible illegal thing did Elon do for the voters of Wisconsin?
He gave 2 people $1 million.
Yes. Musk gave $1 million to Wisconsin voters who signed a petition declaring opposition to activist judges in a scheme Wisconsin Democrats condemned as blatantly illegal. Let's meet one of the winners.
I did exactly what Elon Musk told everyone to do. Sign a petition, refer friends and family, vote, and now I have $1 million.
If she'd had his baby, she'd have got $10 million. Democrats also showed signs of life in D.C. this week when Cory Booker held the Senate floor for more than 25 hours. For 25 hours straight, Cory Booker talked, which beat Strom Thurmond's previous record.
So tonight, I rise with the intention of getting in some good trouble. America, this is who we are, these imperfect geniuses. I'm going to stand as long as I can. As long as I can, I'm going to stand and read stories like this because you are seen, you are heard. Can I just say something on a personal level? Because I just want to remind folks, as we close in on the 10th hour, I laughed, I wept when you were attacked by spiders and things like that. I'm sorry I was laughing at your misfortune, sir. My friend, Madam President, I yield the floor.
You know what that's like, Michael? That's like when you're a comedian and you gotta like stall because the headliner's late. You're just on stage for 2 hours, they bring you a napkin. D.L. Hughley still at the airport.
The longest filibuster before Cory Booker in this country's history was to block civil rights. That was what Strom Thurmond did. And Cory Booker was a hero for finally breaking that record to stand up for people's rights instead of denying people rights.
I see you sitting down very comfortable in that chair. I'm praising Cory. I'm praising Cory.
I gotta say, I feel like I have never thought I would be a good politician, but then when I saw him get praised for talking for 25 hours, I was like, I can do that.
Yeah, Strom Thurmond. He broke Strom Thurmond's record. Amber, what do you think Strom Thurmond had to say about Cory Booker's feet? What do you think he said looking up at Cory Booker?
He was saying, see, I told you desegregation was wrong.
A lot of people had respect for Cory Booker, but almost everybody had this thought.
How did you not have to use the restroom for 25 hours? Did you find a way to use the restroom?
To follow up on Manu's question, and I'm sorry to be crude here, but there's been a lot of speculation about whether or not you're wearing some kind of device, like a catheter or a diaper, but were you wearing anything that allowed you to not have to go to the bathroom for 25 hours?
You have to go to the bathroom at all for 25 hours.
Look, the diaper I understand, but catheter, why would you even suggest that? Because, catheter is next level. That's like either coming in the side in the bladder or they put that tube in your meat sometimes. With the catheter, ladies and gentlemen, I yield the floor, and then you just yank it. Ro, is this the turn the Democrats need?
Yeah, I mean, look, if the Democrats can't win after Donald Trump's destroying the economy, crushing wealth, we might as well get out of the business. So, yes, we're going to win in the midterms, and we're going to win back the White House. The problem is, what's going to be left?
Rumors started swirling that Musk's unpaid internship may soon come to an end, but J.D. Vance said on Thursday that even after he's done dodging everything, Elon is going to remain a friend and advisor of both me and the president.
When does J.D. Vance's unpaid internship end?
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Time for Like Curious. So I give you 3 biographical details about a public figure, but only one is true. You have to guess which is the truth and which are grubby, scummy lies. Let's get it started. Give me 3 facts about Bill Maher. Seen here waiting for his Uber outside a strip club. He brings his own cutlery to restaurants.
Oh my God.
He jumps on a trampoline every day. He has a dog named Bill Maher.
I think it's the cutlery. It's a little germophobic.
That's true. And I do want to see him across a restaurant and him reach into his bag and be like, you're right. We say one.
Number 1, all right.
Well, I don't know if it would be 1 because I feel like he's not allowed in restaurants.
I don't think he has the knees for a trampoline.
You're right. You're totally right.
But how funny would it be if he had a dog named Bill Maher?
I actually bet that's true.
We're going with number 3.
Bill Maher jumps on a trampoline every day. He told Us Weekly, I jump on a trampoline every day. I believe it's good for my lymph system. So when y'all say Bill Maher like tramps, he was talking about trampolines. So y'all need to stop with all of those rumors. Here he is explaining why a trampoline helps the lymphatic system on his podcast.
Unlike the heart, the lymph does not have a pump.
That's better than anything RFK has told your ass about him. Bill Maher got a big booking this week when he got a chance to meet with President Trump. Do you all know which mutual friend of the president that Bill Maher parlayed this meeting with?
Kid Rock. Is it true? I was just guessing. Gross.
According to Trump on Truth Social, quote, I got a call from a very good guy and friend of mine, Kid Rock, asking me whether or not it would be possible for me to meet in the White House with Bill Maher. It might be fun, or it might not. It might be fun or it might not. Pretty much applies to anything that you do in life. What do you all think Donald, Bill, and Kid Rock talked about?
Pussy.
Michael!
What else are they going to talk about?
What policy, Ro Khanna?
I think Donald Trump said, I got bigger ratings, and Bill Maher said, no, I got bigger ratings.
According to Kid Rock, they talked about their shared interests.
We talked about things we had in common, ending wokeness, securing the border. It blew my mind. It was,
Right.
I was, very, very proud.
Of all the people that Donald Trump could be just rubbing shoulders with and having a stake and talking policy with, isn't Bill Maher one of the better possibilities?
You're the president of the United States. You pick up your phone. You can get the smartest, most interesting people in the world to come and sit down with you. He chose Kid Rock and Bill fucking Maher.
Roy, are you looking for an invitation to get on the Bill Maher show?
No,
Is that what this is about?
Time for 3 facts about former Trump strategist Steve Bannon.
No,
Steve Bannon.
you don't have to show the picture.
Steve Bannon looked like when they pulled Paul Giamatti's dead body out the river.
That's so mean to Paul Giamatti.
Our facts about Steve Bannon are, he wrote a hip-hop musical about the LA riots. He once called Velcro a tool of the globalists. He only wears Skechers hands-free slip-ins.
It's going to be 1, because he was a Hollywood guy.
If it's number 1, I will be very upset with you. You at home. And everyone in here. I can't.
Give me a pick then.
What do you think?
I think it's 1, because...
No, it's 2.
There can be only one answer at this point.
No, this isn't Highlander.
There
This is
better be videotape and/or audio. Number 1 wrote a hip-hop musical about the LA riots.
Steve Bannon once wrote a hip-hop musical.
Don't do this. Roy, don't point. Just go to the next
This is the video finger. You know this is the video finger. When he was making a living in Hollywood, Steve Bannon co-wrote a rap musical based on Shakespeare's Coriolanus set during the 1992 LA riots.
No.
The legend of Bannon's lost masterpiece went viral back in 2017, so media company Now This put together a table read with actors and comedians. Take a look.
His bloody brow. No! God, no!
Bitch, please. It becomes a man.
Cut me to pieces, Crips. The Crips descend on Coriolanus, shouting,
Tear him to pieces! He whacked my cuz.
Oh my God, now I feel great about every time I made a joke about how busted he is.
It's time for Missing Words. Here's your headline. It's official. Putting blank on your pickup isn't welcome in Idaho.
Measles?
Is it fuzzy dice?
It's fuzzy.
Oh, so it's truck nuts.
It's official. Putting truck nuts on your pickup isn't welcome in Idaho. Now, if anybody is unfamiliar with truck nuts, it's these. We blurred the license plate because you don't even want to know. That's where the real crazy shit is up there. The governor of Idaho signed a new bill into law last week that bans the exposure of breasts as well as any toys or products intended to resemble male or female genitals. I gotta take that labia spoiler off my Chrysler 300. Here's Idaho lawmaker Melissa Winthrow defending the bill.
They call them truck nuts. They're gross, they're offensive, and kids on the road see them. So why wouldn't the police get a call and say, that offends me, pull it off the truck?
She's a little testy. Here's your headline. Man faces 10 years in prison for trying to collect blank.
Pokemon. Well, I gotta catch them all. By any means necessary.
His visa, his green card. I don't know, that's what they put you in jail for these days.
Ooh, tell the truth.
This is the fun part? We do the sadness at the beginning, and then we have fun. A man faces 10 years in prison for trying to collect all the elements in the periodic table.
Wait, I love this man. That's so sweet. This is just a nerd.
What's your favorite element? Is it gallium?
Or is it unceptium?
Oh my God, you guys, stop hitting on me.
An Australian science nerd looking to collect all the elements of the periodic table could face time in jail for violating Australia's Nuclear Non-Proliferation Act after he was caught shipping samples of plutonium to his parents' suburban Sydney apartment. It's messed up, because you know he in an apartment that's just sitting in the lobby, radiating to everybody else. Follow-up question, what famous nerd has already collected all of the elements of the periodic table that you're legally allowed to physically collect?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Elon Musk?
2 solid guesses.
Ooh.
Kid Rock.
You know, unfortunately, I don't know any nerds because I'm really cool.
It's Microsoft founder Bill Gates, who has a real-life periodic table with samples of most elements mounted in his Seattle office. I hope that the paperclip on Microsoft Word told Bill Gates he's a loser. Here's your headline. New Jersey police chief accused of blank.
Refusing bribe.
Regular police shit? Oh.
New Jersey police chief accused of pooping by desk, spiking coffee with Viagra.
Wow.
Yes.
Regular police shit.
Yes.
You were right.
Regular police shit.
Yes. We need more details on the story, so seriously.
We don't need more details on this.
We do. Let's hear what the police chief was up to.
The charges against Police Chief Robert Farley are stunning and bizarre. They include allegations that he spiked officers' coffee with Viagra and that he poked one officer with a hypodermic needle to the genitals.
No. But the chief wasn't done there.
Among other things, they accuse him of defecating on the floor in front of his entire staff. They describe fits of rage during which Farley would damage things in the office, and they claim he would order officers to complete his daughter's homework.
And he's still on the job, so if you're New Jersey and someone pokes you in the testicles with a needle, it's probably a cop. More after the break. That was Missing Words. Welcome back to Have I Got News for You. It's time for the offender meter. Here's how the offender meter works. Teams have to tell us who's the offender, what they did, and who they offended. Let's begin. Who's this offender?
That's an old shoe.
Yes, that's Secretary of Health and the white California raisin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Who did RFK Jr. offend this week?
People without measles.
RFK Jr. offended West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, seen here having a hot dog photoshopped out of his hand. RFK offended the governor by body shaming him to his face at a Make America Healthy Again event. Here's the roast master.
Governor Morrisey, the first time I saw him, I said, "You look like you ate Governor Morrisey." Now, raise your hand if you want Governor Morrisey to do a public weigh-in once a month.
Oh. Now you see why them Kennedys be getting shot. Let's be thankful, you know, at least RFK left the man's wife out of it.
You're welcome, Denise.
I knew he was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was also mean.
I want to fight him so bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's see your offender. Yes, that's our very own Amber Ruffin. And look at this lovely, well-dressed villain have offended.
I think Amber's in trouble for being too dang cute.
Lock me up, baby.
Amber offended the White House as well as members of the White House Correspondents Association. Amber, following the tradition of Craig from Friday, was fired on her day off as she was uninvited from the White House Correspondents' Dinner when she said that she intended to make fun of the current administration. Amber, do you think you lost the gig because you said too early what you were going to do about going in on Republicans?
I mean, oh my God, I could fucking talk for the next 3 hours. But what I choose to say is this, like, I lost the gig because I was out here talking shit. And I think it's a good thing that I lost the gig because I was gonna show up there and act all the way out. Also, it's not anyone's fault because when I was hired, we were like, oh yeah, and we'll give it to everybody. And I was like, bet. Then they started fucking disappearing people to a prison in El Salvador. They rolled back fucking civil rights. So I was like, if I make this equal, then I'm also a piece of shit. I can't fucking do that.
A serious question on this, though, Ro, because you're in the White House every day and you see the kind of pressure that the media is under. If the Correspondents Association went ahead and let Amber, after saying publicly that she was going to go in on Trump, do you think that they would have faced some sort of backlash from the administration post-Correspondents' Dinner?
What they did in terms of disinviting her was totally offensive. You know what's so offensive? J.D. Vance, he goes into Europe and lectures them on free speech, and then they are the least free speech administration in my lifetime.
I would say, as your friend and coworker, I very much was looking forward to you bringing your warmth and your tremendous sense of humor to the event. I think you would have been acerbic in the best possible way. I'm very upset that they were as cowardly about this as they were. And if I could tell them anything, I would just say, I'm available.
I'll say this, Amber, I feel like this is a blessing in disguise, you know, because sometimes you say yes to a gig and you do what's expected of you, and then years later you look back and regret the creative choices you made and know that they'll haunt you for the rest of your life.
What's your name?
Joey.
You know there was a murder in the park last night?
Yeah, I heard about it.
This is the guy who got killed.
Yeah, that's Father Sheridan.
You know him?
Just to talk to him. He talked to a lot of the kids.
What'd you guys talk about?
You know, what you were doing here and have you thought everything through, so forth. Health concerns.
They show the whole fucking thing!
That was the Fender meter. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Time for a game called Who Did What? We'll start with three people from the news and pop culture, and I'll name a job they did before they got famous. Ooh. Who was a courtroom sketch artist? Was it Lindsey Graham, Terry Crews, or Matthew McConaughey?
Interesting.
Wow.
I feel like Terry Crews is a very good artist, right? I feel like during the pandemic, there was like viral tweets of him with like gorgeous artwork.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
We have our answer?
I think he's also like very good at music. Do I just have a crush? No.
I do think it's Terry Crews. We would like to steal Karen's answer.
The former courtroom sketch artist was Terry Crews. Crews said the job as a courtroom sketch artist was, quote, my first job in entertainment. I drew courtroom sketches for the worst murder case in Flint, Michigan history.
Oh my God.
He said it's my first job in the entertainment industry?
That's how you start in entertainment. Some people draw the pictures of the murderers and then it'd be an agent out in the lobby. I saw your pictures, kid. And come on. Terry is actually pretty cold with the pencil. Here's some of Terry's artwork that he drew of his America's Got Talent co-stars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But everybody knows courtroom sketch artists. It's a quick and dirty job. Sometimes the cases are fast. So I'm going to show you a courtroom sketch of somebody famous in the court. And you tell me who it is.
That's Puffy.
Okay?
Gotta be.
Ro Khanna, any guesses?
I go with that.
You don't want to just throw out Chris Rock? Just as...
No.
It kind of, come on, that kind of...
Does look a little bit like Chris Rock.
You're right, that's Sean Diddy Combs.
All right.
It's so bad, it's like, if it wasn't Diddy, we'd be like, man, that's racist.
Yeah.
Who's this lady litigant?
Oh. Looks like Melania.
I was going to guess Melania. Doesn't it look like Melania?
When would she be in court supporting Trump?
That's a great,
That's a
great
really
question.
Good point. Yeah. I think I'm out of white women. I don't know anymore.
She got 4 white women in her file.
I'm done. If I learn a new one of them has to go.
Our guest is Amy Adams.
That's Lori Loughlin appearing in court for her role in the college admission scandal in 2019.
All right, but that's actually a pretty good sketch. It's just that we all forgot about her.
Yeah.
Remember when that was the biggest scandal in America?
Yeah.
That was nice.
Cheating to get your kids in college, that was pre-COVID, that was the good old days.
Beautiful.
All right, tell me who did what. Which one ran a pool hall, Lindsey Graham or Matthew McConaughey?
I know this one.
Oh, it has to be Matthew McConaughey.
That's kind of a cool thing to do.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
we freaking go with the fun guy.
The answer is Lindsey Graham.
Yes, Lindsey Graham once ran a pool hall. In his memoir, Lindsey Graham talks about working the pool hall section of his parents' combination bar, restaurant, liquor store, and pool hall called the Sanitary Cafe.
No.
Yes, nothing makes you suspicious of whether or not you should eat there. Like naming your place after the name of a bathroom. What weird job did Matthew McConaughey have?
There isn't a thing you could say that I would not believe. Kidnapper. He worked at a dude ranch, call center.
Cowboy.
Ooh.
Insurance salesman.
As part of his maintenance job at a golf course, Matthew McConaughey used to kill armadillos for a living.
All right, I lied, you got me.
I was not going to guess
I was never-
armadillo killer.
That was who did what. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for Meet in the Middle, where we find common ground between two people who would never be caught hanging together. On one side, we have Gwyneth Paltrow, Samuel L. Jackson, Christopher Walken, and Millie Bobby Brown. And on the other side, we got G.W. Bush, Chappell Roan, Princess Kate, and Woody Harrelson. First up, Brought It On. Which two of these people were cheerleaders in college?
George W. Bush.
Was a cheerleader.
He was a cheerleader.
George W. Bush was a cheerleader.
He was a cheerleader in school, and then he was a cheerleader for the war in Iraq. It's kind of a common theme.
He's consistent. Yeah.
Then I want to say GWB and Christopher Walken.
Let's go, Samuel.
Oh, we're going to go with Samuel L. Jackson.
George W. Bush and Samuel L. Jackson were both cheerleaders in college. You know, that's where he got the idea for the pyramid in Abu Ghraib. Here's Samuel L. Jackson talking about some of his favorite cheers from his time at Morehouse College.
Every now and then we do, some cheers like, Edward, he's our man. If he can't do it, fuck it.
Next up, we've got No Phone, Who Dis? Which two of these people do not own cell phones?
That sounds like some goop shit to me. I want to say Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay.
Who do you think from the other side?
Kate.
Kate Middleton?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Walken and Harrelson. You good with that?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Christopher Walken and Woody Harrelson do not own cell phones. Christopher Walken also told the Wall Street Journal that he's, quote, never owned a cell phone, never sent an email, and never Twittered. I respect that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Spice Chicks. Which two of these people have chickens named after the Spice Girls?
It's got to be British people, right? We're going with whoever's British on there.
Yeah. Then we say the Americans.
There you go.
Chappell Roan, she's quirky.
Is Chappell Roan American?
Yeah, she's American.
I mean, look, I don't know, and you be thinking they regular, then you see them in an interview, and they, well, I tell you, all right. I'm like, what? Okay, Millie Bobby Brown and Chappell Roan both have pet chickens named after the Spice Girls.
Oh.
Here's Millie Bobby Brown talking about her spicy chickens.
I have 5 hens. They're all named after the Spice Girls. I raised them. I was actually told they were gonna die, and then all of them survived.
Oh, that took a twist at the end.
Why is she cooking in negligee? Like, that's weird, right?
We didn't get to Gwyneth Paltrow and Princess Kate, but they both married cold Brits and claim they're not beefing with Meghan Markle. More after the break. Welcome back. Time for which is higher. Here's how we play which is higher. I'll give you two unrelated numbers from the news. You tell me which is higher. The cost of Kid Rock's Oval Office outfit that he wore to have dinner with the president and Bill Maher on Monday, or the cost of this 2024 Sea-Doo RXP 325 in lava red featuring a Rotax 1638 engine and BRP audio premium system, full color display, and a USB port.
I think people understand that Kid Rock is stupid.
Yeah.
And they can charge him whatever they want.
That's true.
I'm going to say the outfit is more expensive than the high-end jet ski.
I think I might agree. I feel like whatever Party City employee sold it to him was like, I'm going to make up a fake number, and he's going to pay it.
I would have gone with the outfit, but after the tariffs, I got to go with the jet ski.
You heard the man, jet ski.
The cost of Kid Rock's outfit is $20,000.
Oh, no.
And the cost of the Sea-Doo is $19,199. So the cost of Kid Rock's outfit is higher. But the bigger question, does Kid Rock's outfit have a USB port? That was which is higher. Look, I want to thank our guests, Ro Khanna and Karen Chee. And of course, thank you to our team captains, Amber Ruffin and Michael Ian Black. Before we sign off, here are a few more stories we're watching. You must be at least this tall to ruin the government. RFK Jr. names a new vaccine chief. I'm Roy Wood Jr., and I'll see you next week for another episode of Have I Got News for You. It's been 39 days since head of Doge Amy Gleason went on vacation in Mexico. Amy, come back. Doge needs you. Good night.